Hello there, children. Today's topic, we're going to talk about gang banging. I don't mean women, I mean gangsters banging. I really don't think banging is permittable today. You should gang bang. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choice. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another
Bump that, Mike Ball, bump that.
What it do. Choice. Look, today's slightly different from the 80s. Separated from greatness, killing a ball of babies. Sickening so
Welcome to Black Dragon Bikers TV, and as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. I'm Black Dragon with my host, Mike Ball. We are having a good time. It's good to see y'all. Bump that stuff. Bump it.
Hey, we're bumping. We're out here bumping it. You know,
We're bumping it. We're bumping it. You know what?
My brother Yogi. Got to give a shout out.
Brother Yogi.
That's right. OG Yogi.
OG Yogi. He raps almost as well as I do. Here, let me put a little scratch on his.
Damn. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about right there. Was that a decent little intro for us?
I almost started put a lick on there.
Hey, look out. It was getting crazy with you. I can see you. You were putting the crab scratches. I saw that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man.
I like it.
Happy New Year and stuff. We're back.
That's right. We are back. And look, we actually got notifications out this time. We're not shadow
contracting.
We're not shadow bound this time.
I owe him a yellow band. I got to get a band to him.
What's good with everybody? Much love and respect to everybody. I see you guys super active this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever the heck you guys are from. For me, it's 11:23 in the morning. You guys over there are about on the East Coast getting ready for dinner and stuff.
Do you hear something in my background?
I do not.
Okay, you don't hear it? Good.
Mm-mm.
Outstanding. Hey, man. Just imagine being in a courtroom and the judge says some SHIT you don't like, and you just jump up in the court. You just jump up and whoop her MF and A.
Literally flying like a Superman.
And you just go whoop her. You just go whoop the judge. That's crazy. And so,
how much extra time do you think someone gets for attacking a judge? That's not going to be good.
It should just be simple assault.
Oh, man.
All they did was beat her up. I mean,
I guess so.
There shouldn't be anything extra to that. That's an assault.
A felony. Another felony.
It shouldn't have been a felony. How is that a felony? How is whooping somebody's behind a felony?
In a courtroom, a judge? I don't think you can do that.
I mean,
I think if I did that, I'd be screwed.
Why should a judge get any more leniency than we get?
Right. Why is there the separation here?
She was talking cash, SHIT, how we used to say it where I come from. She was listening to her.
Appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
In accordance with the law.
Some kind of way it's not coming in loud.
No. I hear it, but what I'm saying is I didn't hear that when I originally watched this video.
Listen to her talking this noise.
Yeah, I want to hear that again.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else. I just can't with that history.
Wow.
And look at her. She's smirking and stuff, Adam, because she's way up there in the ivory tower talking down. She's talking to the bro like he ain't even there.
This dude about to like hop up and do a slam dunk.
Don't talk to me in a third person, and I'm here in front of you.
Right.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else
I
because
think somebody said somebody's old here. He was like the Silver Surfer. If you know who the Silver Surfer is, you're old. I don't know who he is. Anyway.
Right.
She's talking that noise. Listen.
That, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else.
I think it's time he gets a taste of something else. I just can't.
The laws of state of Nevada, this court
Oh, they bleeped it out what he said. Oh, heck, we can't have the
what did he say right there? I gotta hear it.
FUB.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he said FUB. Yeah. let me see. I think I have this. Take that screen off for a minute.
All right. And by the way, Cousin says that he's only 38. So he knows who the Silver Surfer
he knows
is.
who Silver Surfer is? Silver Surfer?
I don't know who it is, but
yeah, because you're,
28.
A child.
I guess I got to be 38 to know.
Well, I'm surprised that the 38-year-old knows.
Right.
Surprising to me. Like, who knows who Silver Surfer is? Oh, here it is right here. Let me try to pull this one up. You get to hear what he says to her. As a matter of fact, the way they did this one, is he actually, okay. They're showing him while he's standing out there.
Right. I think this is what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to say those words.
Appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Fuck that B. Fuck that. You know, and then watch that. Did you see this guy?
Superman.
Holy moly. I didn't even know you could jump that high. Your boy. Too bad they're putting him away because this is dunk material.
In accordance with the laws.
Look at this. He clears the whole thing. Look at him. Superman. Dun, 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 dun.
Crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Then let me see. We go back
That's
to
rough.
Yeah, and then he gets to commence to whooping on her. I wanted to show this one because this one is the extended one.
I haven't seen that either.
Really gets to whooping on her. Did you see that, man? Your boy went straight over. Like, we got to do this in slow motion. Woo, dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
And then look at that. Feet, everything cleared. Your boy cleared this. I wonder if he works out and does that. He cleared the whole thing. You know how you see those people where they step up and step down, like when you're trying to teach yourself how to dunk, how you it's a process.
That's right.
It takes a minute to
it's a whole setup that you got to line yourself up for, and you can tell he was coming at an angle. You know what I mean? He's coming around like he's going to do. I forget what that sport is when you jump over that big.
Here we go.
Yeah, I got to see this.
All right.
Oh my God!
Wow. Anyway,
the high jump. It's like he's perfecting the high jump over here.
It's perfected. He's not perfecting it. Look at that. Boxer showing
that bailiff
everything.
is done. That bailiff is gone.
You can't blame that. Now, come on. Now, what was the bailiff supposed to do? You can't like.
Oh no, the bailiff is doing this. Sitting there with his thumb up his ass.
Oh my God! So over the fence they go. Boom. Now, what's this guy doing? Listen, if you're gonna hold somebody back, bro, grab him around the arms. He's just got him around the waist, and yeah, and nobody can stop this dude. And what is crazy is how right about here. He gets away from those guys. And yeah. I hate this one because this is the long one, but they're bleeping out all the good stuff. Look at her. He's hit. And I want to know what kind of pitter-pat ass punches are these?
Yeah, he's doing little down punches.
What the hell is that? I guess he really thinks he did something. He did something. Man, I'd like to turn him loose in a cage match with that guy.
Yeah, he's just.
Bro, you got to square behind.
He doesn't know how. He can't do that straight punch,
You know what, man? We need to get him some rings. That guy is what why bikers wear rings.
It's like the legal brass knuckles.
Yeah, that's for guys that can't hit. Guys who can't really hit wear all this, and I'm chief among them. Okay.
Yeah, that one's biting. That dragon's biting your ass.
He needs some. This helps.
A tiny toad.
Yeah. That's horny toad.
Oh, horny toad.
Yeah, that's horny toad.
He's horny.
Yeah. These help. You need you some dragon rings. That
would hurt.
This here.
I ain't doing much.
Oh my gosh, man. This was sad. But anyway. Wow, he's whooping the bailiff's ass. Did you see it? He was this guy here. What? He should be ashamed. He's
like stabbing. He's doing the stabbing down motion.
I think this guy is a woman at heart or something. This guy right here. He wasn't trained. You should never come back to court again. You should just turn your attorney gear in and just be done, bro. Look at that. Now he's hammer fisting. Are you serious?
Yep, hammer fisting.
They do use the hammer fist in MMA, right? When you get a guy about to knock his ass out, you start hammer fisting. And now look at him. He's all exasperated looking like
he's freaking out.
I've just really done something. It's ridiculous. Now he just looks so exasperated. Poor dude. And he didn't even mess up none of his. He still got his
tie nicely put.
Tied nicely, and he didn't even mess up his handkerchief. This guy's the cleanest fighter I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody fight so clean. Clean as hell. Now he's gonna go help the judge out. I wonder if he gets a. Now you got to hear.
I didn't see this far.
You got to hear the bailiff. I like the bailiff. The bailiff. I'm not against the bailiff like you guys are. I like him because he's a man of reason. You got to hear him. He's so reasonable. Hey, guy, stop that. Don't do this. He's already done it.
Wow. That's what we use. Don't do this.
Yes, Mama Ro, I still have your rings. Yeah, this guy is like, don't do this. It just rang so clear. It was so beautiful. We can hear him right here. You're good. Stop. Don't do. You're good. Stop. Get off her. I like it. Like he's got to be like, okay, I'll stop.
He's like doing negotiation power.
And that's what he's trying to do. So listen to him.
You're good. Stop. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Like he's the voice of reason. Don't do this. Stop right now. And don't do this.
Don't do it.
He's beautiful. We need to make a song to that guy.
Oh, we could totally parody this.
We need to make a song to him called Don't Do This. He should have his own.
We could take sound bites and all that from it. Absolutely.
I need yeah, here we go, right here. Don't do this. Whatever you do, don't do this. I don't think you should be doing this.
Wow.
No, don't do this. I don't think you should be doing this. Don't do this.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, don't do this.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's what he sounded like.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Rough.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So anyway.
Gotta love how we start this off.
I heard he went to try his first day in court. They said he got 3 felonies from that.
I bet. They're gonna go all the way with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man who attacks judge. Let's see. What does he get for that? Says he had a I hadn't read this part. Man in Las Vegas courtroom attack video says he had a bad day and he tried to kill the judge. He admitted to that?
He had a bad day.
For attempted murder? The man who attacked the Las Vegas judge as she was sentencing him when they told corrections officers he had a bad day and tried to kill her. According to the documents that 8 News now has, Deborah Redden, Deobra Redden, 30 years old, a 3-time felon. Oh, hell, he was on his 3rd strike. Was in Clark County District Court Judge Mary K. Holthus courtroom for sentencing on a charge of attempted battery with substantial bodily harm. Well, wait a minute. How do you attempt battery and still get substantial bodily harm? Sounds like he made it happen. As Holthus was getting ready to sentence Redden to prison time, he lunged over the bench and attacked her. We saw that. Holthus was about to deny Redden's probation request when Redden ran up to her, jumped over the bench, and attacked her. The video shared with 8 News. Now investigators showed several other people then fought with him before throwing him to the ground. The ensuing struggle lasted several minutes. Holthus Marshall, identified as Shane Brandon, received 25 stitches. Yeah, he was whooping that guy. He was fighting that guy back. 25 stitches to a gash on his face. 25 stitches. That's a lot of stitches. Document said Brandon was preparing to handcuff Redden at the time. He also dislocated his shoulder. He got whooped over, man. After leaping over the bench, Redden allegedly slammed Holthus' head against a wall, struck her once in the head, and pulled out some of her hair. Damn! Then she hid under her desk. She wasn't talking that shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She had stopped talking all that. I think he needs a little taste of something else. He got him a little taste of something else. I tried. He got him a hell of a taste. Poor guy's going to go to prison. Okay, so let's see what's going to do. She hid under the desk, balled up, covering her face. Not so tough. Not so tough, huh, Judge Holthus? Holthus described Redden as being big. That guy was not big, strong, and angry. That guy is only about 5'10". Give me a break here. Being big, strong, and angry. He was mad, Judge, because she was up there talking that noise. Medical personnel treated her in the Justice Center. A family member later brought her to the hospital due to her continued pain. Redden also hit and punched a corrections officer who was present in the courtroom. Documents said Holthus law clerk he was a law clerk. Michael Lasso was cut several times on his hand in the melee. The melee was the sadness and the punches he threw. Right. Photos showed a bloody scene with, I never saw any blood, did you? With blood on Holthus' bench and on documents scattered in the area. A witness who was in the courtroom on Wednesday described the attack. It was just a total chaotic commotion. But what are they going to do to the man? After the attack, they put him in a holding cell. While at CDC, Redden allegedly spit in the corrections officer's face. He just went wild and out that day. Chief Judge Jerry Wise said Holthus returned to work Thursday. The judge came back to work Thursday. Also on Thursday, Redden refused to show up for his initial appearance in the same building where the attack happened the day before. So they're going to try to take him there January 9th. Holthus was scheduled to continue the sentencing hearing on her case. Oh, my goodness. So you're going to still be sentenced by the same judge?
No
Can
way.
that be fair? The case is unrelated to new charges, and there's going to be new charges. Coercion with force. Okay, here are the new charges. Coercion with force or threat of force. Extortion? Damn.
Wow.
Intimidate public officers and others with the use of force. Disregard of the safety of persons or property. Battery by a prisoner. Oh, they got their own law.
Yeah, they got their own subsection, huh?
Wow, that's a whole different battery. Battery by prisoner, probationer, or parolee. Wow. Unlaw attack to excrete fluid. Oh, that's when he spit on that guy's.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that either. That's a felony as well.
Unlaw act to excrete fluid by a prisoner in a confined area. Boy, these are just laws that you've never heard of. These are for people like in jail and stuff.
Yeah, they have their own, subsection because I think they have different rights, obviously.
And battery on a protected person. I wonder how many of those are felonies.
All of them. All of them.
He was previously in front of her for malicious destruction of property. Records show he served prison time on a domestic battery charge for 1 year, starting in 2021. In that case, a different judge sentenced him to 12 to 30 months. A board granted Redden parole in 2022. You ain't getting parole again, bro. He appeared in court with his mother. He has 3 felony convictions and 9 misdemeanor convictions on his record. And they about to throw the book at your boy. Mama didn't beat that behind, it seems.
That's rough.
Ah,
Dude didn't
anyway.
get what he wanted, so he lost it. Can't contain his emotions.
No.
Those are oftentimes the most dangerous people in the world, is men that cannot contain their emotions.
You saw him. He whooped everybody in there.
Trust me, I wouldn't have wanted that to happen to me on the other side. Hell no. Like getting attacked like that anywhere, dude, that would have sucked.
We were going to bring back the Ain't No Punk awards. I think we need to give the Ain't No Punk award to the marshal there.
To the marshal?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give it to the prisoner, but all right.
No. We won't be able to award him. They won't let it. They probably won't let us talk to him. The Ain't No Punk award should go to the marshal. I like that. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Don't
I like
do it.
That.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's crazy that was even said to be real.
Well, people out here they're on a string, man.
It would have made sense with this guy. If he was his lawyer, then I would have understood.
I guess you're right. That other guy deserves an Ain't No Punk award. Redden deserves an Ain't No Punk award either. He did what we've all wanted to do. Have you ever been sitting out in front of a judge and thought? I remember there's this one judge. She was screaming in the courtroom. I was there trying to protect this young cutie that I had, who was trouble. Young cuties are always trouble. So she was there in the courtroom, and the judge was screaming at her and stuff. And I tried to raise my hand to say, Judge, the reason she was late, she was in a car wreck, blah, blah, blah. And I raised my hand. Put your hand down.
Yep.
I was just, you put your hand down and you shut up. I wanted to be like, B word, who the hell are you talking to? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I wanted to be like. But she had that look of contempt of court in her eyes. She looked at me like, I told you to shut up.
Yeah.
I had the stare contest for a third of a second. Not a long one.
But what you did compared to what you thought was two different things.
What I thought was Superman there. I thought, you know what? F you. That's what I thought. And I could see myself, even back then, this is 20 years ago, I could see myself running and jumping and floating over the top of her into the thing like him. As a matter of fact, I did a little parody about it on my shorts. You guys gotta go check out my short where I did a little parody on it. Here's a sad story though. This story here sucks. This is Mike, sometimes being in a motorcycle club, it almost all the time being in a motorcycle club sucks because you can run into prejudices that occur not necessarily from the crime you did, but from the fact that you belong to a motorcycle club.
Yep.
And in this case, this is the international president of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Now, what sucks about this story is they for him is that he is being held, it looks like now, without bail on a pretty minor charge. Why?
Yeah, we know why.
Yeah, we know why.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the stuff you would think just couldn't happen. Like, you got to have proof of stuff and this, that, and the other. This is creepy to see.
This sounds like them throwing the complete book at you at whatever. I mean, because let's just say it was a civilian, definitely wouldn't be getting the same exact charges as this.
Well, he
Guaranteed.
might get the same charges, but
no bail.
For the charges, he would get treated differently. So this guy is being treated differently because of his status in a motorcycle club. So this goes back to this story about this nightclub Pharaohs. And the Outlaws Motorcycle Club members or something like that, and this international president some of them happen to work there. Now, the guy who is in charge of it has been charged with all kinds of outrageous charges. And that's his cross to bear, but everybody seems to be going down with him. So this is a picture of the front of that place. John Ehrman, who has been identified by federal prosecutors as the international president of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, must remain in custody as his firearms case proceeds in court. Now, you remember that we covered this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Right.
And the judge was loath to hold him over. The judge did not want to hold him over and only bent to the pressure of the district attorney. And the judge said then, hey, man, this is kind of off here. That to hold this guy in jail on these little charges, district attorney flipped a Woody, and he said, I'm going to keep him for a little while, but I'm really not going to really be, I think that I shouldn't be. I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Sure.
But he says, I'm not going to keep him this whole time, and I'm really compelled to let him go or whatever. And it seems like maybe he did, and he's been overruled, I think. So we'll see in the story what happened. So anyway, the John Ehrman, who's been identified by federal prosecutors as an international president of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, must remain in custody as his firearms case proceeds in court. A federal judge ruled Wednesday. Chief U.S. District Judge Elizabeth A. Wolford reversed. See, I told you. See, there it is. She reversed a magistrate judge's December order that had set conditions for his release. Because if you'll remember, that judge said that he was compelled to release the guy.
Question: How can you reverse something after something's already been decided?
No,
I didn't really know that.
She's a higher court. That's why.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's higher. He was a district judge, and
Federal.
that was a district judge, and she was a federal. The new judge is a federal judge. So the charge that Ehrman faces, a single count of possessing a firearm while being a recreational user of marijuana. That doesn't mean that he was high when he had the firearm. That doesn't mean that he had the firearm on his possession particularly and was high. That means that maybe he said, oh yeah, I use marijuana. And you have a firearm.
Yep. That's exactly it right there. Because if you can link those two together, firearm and marijuana, that is instantly.
Well, that's what Biden's son is being charged with as well.
Really? I did not know that.
A charge like that. You were a cocaine addict.
Oh well, with that, okay.
And you owned a gun. So you can't do both.
Can't do both. You can pick one, basically. You know, it really you can be a mess up in that regard where we can't really charge you. And then same thing with the firearm. If you,
but these are charges that normal people don't get. Only the international president of the Outlaws and Joe Biden's son.
Right.
You know, like normal people. Like how many people smoke pot that own guns? What's wrong with you? Put your hand down. Stop that.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you don't want to be
I'm in California.
You're a biker.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, everything I got is legal.
The question would be, oh yeah, you're in California. They get to do that there. The question would be like, how many people would they be arresting if they?
California, gotta love it.
Moving on. How many people would be arrested if they did this? Lots. So the charge he faces is a single count of possessing firearms, a single count, while being a recreational user of marijuana. And it says right here in the story, this does not typically prompt prosecutors to seek even detention, Wolford said. And this is what the judge said. Most of the time, prosecutors don't even seek detention for this. But she added, the posture of this case is unique. The posture of this case is unique. So we're just going to break all the kind of precedents we have because the posture of the case is unique. Not you've been found guilty of anything or even that we necessarily have any evidence. We just have the posture of this case. Ehrman's role with the Outlaws, his ties to Peter Garras Jr., this is the guy that owns the place, the general manager of the Pharaoh's Gentlemen's Club, a strip club in Cheektowaga. I don't know.
I'm glad that you're trying to pronounce it because I couldn't do it either.
Cheektowaga, I believe. And his possible involvement in the death of a federal witness were factors in her ruling, she said. So Peter Garras is a guy that owns that strip club, and he's the general manager of the strip club. And there was a girl that was a witness, and she died. And so he could possibly be involved. So for all these reasons, we're going to hold him without bail for a gun charge because we ain't got nothing else.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. It sucks. Ehrman, 54 years old, of Lancaster, has not been charged with any crimes directly linked to the Outlaws, Pharaohs, or the death of the witness, Crystal Quinn, the judge said. And the judge is saying this. He hasn't been charged with any of that. But, the judge said, she was not constrained to consider only the pending charge against him. She's like, I can consider anything I want, basically. You know what I mean?
Sadly.
She said, it is not unreasonable to conclude that Ehrman had a role in Quinn's death. That's what she said. It's not unreasonable as far as she's concerned, even though I don't have any evidence or anything like that. He was around there, so he could be involved. So we're going to hold him on a gun charge as though he killed somebody that he may or may not have even been involved with. But Wolford said she doesn't have to make that conclusion to keep him in custody at this point. The question is not whether Ehrman has obstructed justice. I'm not getting this. The question is not whether Ehrman has obstructed justice, but rather whether the government has established by clear and convincing evidence that he would present a risk of obstruction of justice if released. So now, wow.
What a joke.
We hold people for risks. This is the Minority Report all over again. Remember that movie?
Yeah, and this is the type of stuff right here that really angers me because, like we were just saying, if it were really anybody else that was not in this position, obviously they wouldn't be getting cracked down so hard. It's only particularly because the guy is not only a part of a certain motorcycle club, but he's also the head of it. So this is what they do. And this is something that it sucks because the mainstream media is going to report this like it's some terrible thing that this dude has done. Meanwhile, this is why we do what we do. We need to throw out the real narrative on this. So
the question is not whether he obstructed justice, but rather whether the government has established by clear and convincing evidence that he might present a risk of obstruction of justice if released, for which no conditions can reasonably protect, she wrote in her decision. So we can't. So really, an ankle monitor bracelet, they got all kinds of stuff. Like you got to blow into the thing in your car before you can drive it. You got anchor monitoring. They can take away your passport. They can limit where you can be. So she's saying that no remedy that the court has, no remedy whatsoever exists. This guy is so terrible. He's so huge. He's so big. He's so bad that no remedy other than to put him in jail until we go on our witch hunt and find some evidence. No other remedy exists, which is amazing. She wrote...
This kind of almost reminds me, and not to bring up someone that's, I guess, irrelevant, but this reminds me of what happened to Andrew Tate in Romania. Literally like having a lame, there's nothing there, and then literally there's no charges or evidence right then and there, so they just hold him until they find a witch hunt to find something, which is crazy. You know, well, it's crazy to me.
They've got one thing. He had a gun.
That's what they're
and uses marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she said that there are no reasonable conditions, and so she said the court concludes that the government has plainly met its burden to show that this guy could be a risk. She said that the district judge, whom she overturned, said bullshit. And that's why he gave him conditions for release. But this judge, they went and found the right judge. So for a decade, Ehrman has worked as general manager at Pharaoh's Strip Club, I guess is what it is, for its owner, Garas, who federal authorities have accused of bribing a DEA agent. That DEA agent is actually under trial and stuff himself. He's been charged and he's been going through trial for accepting bribes. This doesn't have anything to do with the international press. Ehrman, this doesn't have anything to do with him. He didn't bribe the guy. He's not in jail for bribing the guy. But the owner is. Federal authorities have him for bribing a Drug Enforcement Administration agent and conspiring to engage in drug trafficking and in sex trafficking. That's Garas. He also has charges for maintaining Pharaoh's as a drug-involved premise. Now, get this, where vulnerable young women are exploited through their drug addictions and coerced into engaging in commercial sex acts. Why is it that when a young lady decides that she wants to sell her wares or participate in the oldest profession known by mankind, it's those mean guys over there that coerced her, that took her weaknesses and forced her out there.
Yep.
And it's because of them that she wants to make fast money. They created a premise that allowed her to go do now. I'm not saying that there's not such a thing as white slavery. I'm not saying that women are forced into that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
Right.
But the other happens too.
It happens a lot too, by the way.
You're too young to remember Elvira Hollander. You wouldn't
never heard of the name.
She was the happy hooker. Have you ever heard of that before?
No. That's a good name. I like this.
She wrote a book in the 70s called The Happy Hooker. She made millions of dollars, and her whole premise is nobody made me do this.
I decided to do this. Right.
I am the happy hooker. I was a kid. I read her book when I was like 7 or 10.
I got to read this book because now I'm actually interested. That's funny.
Let me see if I can't find that book, The Happy Hooker. Oh, they made a film about her.
They made a film? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Here it is. The Happy Hooker, the film, 1975. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, is this the book, The Happy Hooker? Here she is. My Own Story is the best-selling memoir by Elvira Hollander. See, I remember her name. There she was cute in the day. This is an older her. Published in 1971. I was 11 years old, I think, something like that. No, I wasn't even. I was born in 63. So this was before I was not 8 when I read this. It sold over 20 million copies way back then.
Wow.
Robin Moore, who took Hollander's dictations of the book's contents, came up with the title, while Yvonne Dunleavy ghost wrote it. It was, again, in an interview in 2019, she talked about how happy she was to do that job. I read it. I was just a kid when I read it, and she went all over the world, and it wasn't really an X-rated book. It talked about.
They probably more of her experiences.
Yeah, by today's standards, it would have been bland. But when I read it, it was like my mom was
hardcore.
My mom was like, "You're reading that book?" Oh,
you're reading sex right now.
She stripped the Woody, man.
Yeah,
but she didn't take it from me. She didn't take it. She was like, shook her head and everything. But my mother didn't. She didn't say,
"Boys will be boys."
Yeah, she's like, "I can't believe you have this thing." But it enlightened me that some folks are happy with doing this. But here in this story, they say the owner of Garas maintained Pharaoh's as a drug-involved premise where vulnerable young women were exploited through their own drug addictions and coerced into engaging in commercial sex acts. It doesn't say that they addicted them, but they coerced them. So retired DEA agent Joseph Giovanni, is awaiting trial. They got a retired DEA guy on charges of accepting more than $250,000 in bribes from Garras and other drug dealers who he thought were associated with organized crime. And then there's the death of Quinn, the young lady, Miss Quinn, a former exotic dancer who had agreed to cooperate with prosecutors that prosecutors emphasized in their effort to keep Ehrman in custody as his case proceeds. You know, one of the things, and here's a picture of her, of Crystal Quinn. You know, one of the things Crystal Quinn stated before she died, while she was a government cooperator, was that she was afraid the outlaws would kill her as a result of her cooperation. Trippi said during a court proceeding last month, it seems like her fears were well-founded. Well, she was killed, but it doesn't, nobody knows who she was killed by, so you can't say that they killed her. Her fears were founded because everybody that snitches knows good and damn well what happens when they snitch, which is why you and I are going to be doing a series about some
We should
accused
do it. Think
snitching.
tactical.
No, some accused snitching. Somebody else we know of has been accused of snitching, and we're going to talk about that. But anyway, moving on. Because everyone knows when you turn into a snitch in certain kinds of worlds, what could happen to you. So that doesn't necessarily mean that. But Attorney George Moscato, who represents Ehrman, argued before Woolford that the government has offered no proof that Ehrman, the international president, poses a danger to witnesses in the Pharaoh's case. Woolford spent 7 hours at 3 court proceedings listening to Trippi and defense attorneys make their arguments for or against keeping Ehrman, and co-defendant Scott J. Barnes, also an Outlaws Motorcycle Club member, in custody. Considering the totality of the evidence proffered by the government over the 2 days of arguments, the court easily concludes that Ehrman presents both a risk of danger and a flight risk, and no conditions could reasonably protect against those risks, she wrote in her order Wednesday. That's just no conditions that we could come up with. The judge also granted the government's appeal to keep Barnes locked up in his case proceeding. So he was let go too, remember? You might not remember the story, but he was let go too. And the government appealed, the district attorney appealed against both of those guys. 2 other motorcycle club members arrested with Barnes, Ehrman and Barnes, have been released with conditions. Michael Roncone, who was president of the Rare Breed Motorcycle Club based in Wellsville. Now, this is where it starts to get sordid, man. So this Michael was president of Rare Breed Motorcycle Club, which is a black motorcycle club. And Paul Rowlowski, a member of the Outlaws and a cook at Pharaoh's, he was released. Woolford's 34-page decision addressed Quinn's death. After Quinn testified before a grand jury, Garras was indicted last year on an additional charge of witness tampering. The government told Woolford that Garras knew about Quinn's cooperation based on the prosecution's case during Garras's detention hearing on March 24th through the 27th. So they should have kept this woman secret, and they didn't. They let her name get out, which is when they tell you we can protect you. They let her name get out. Whose fault is that? So he learned about the fact that she was there and that she had participated. And so they say because he learned that, he had been released with conditions after his 2021 indictment on drug trafficking and sex trafficking at Pharaoh's. But Sinatra revoked his release after the witness tampering charge. Shortly after, Sinatra detained Garras on April 4, 2023. Ehrman visited Garras at the Niagara County Jail and visited him again on July 6, 2023. So Quinn went in to go see him a couple times. Less than a month after the second visit, she was dead, prosecutors told Woolford. According to the government, Garras was furious about the fact that he had been detained, had complained about Quinn, and threatened that he had a long reach and people who could tie up his loose ends, Woolford said in her ruling Wednesday. Now, where any of this has anything to do with Erwin or the other outlaw that's in jail, this is him making those threats. In mid-July 2023, Quinn reconnected with Simon Gogolak, a friend from high school, whom she said she had not seen in about 10 years. Prosecutor said that. Prosecutor said Gogolak was attempting to lure Quinn to Wellsville, where he lived. At around the same time, he was communicating with a drug dealer offering up his services as a hitman, Wolford said in her decision. Gogolak was successful in his efforts to convince Quinn to visit in Wellsville. Upon their arrival on July 27, 2023, they went to a poker game run by Rare Breed Motorcycle Club, a support club of the Outlaws. Now, when the hell has Rare Breed been a support club of anybody?
That's exactly what the hell I was questioning. How can you say these guys are a support club? What, because of race? What are you doing that for? Like, that's crazy.
The Rare Breed is a support club of the Outlaws Motorcycle. And that's a new one on me. Wow.
That is. That's
Now, if I was
as
to say
cap.
that
That's as
around
cap
here
as it
in
gets.
Atlanta, I'd get beat up.
There might be some active stuff going on. Just saying. You know what I mean? You can't just say stuff like that. It's crap.
Well, I've yet to see a Rare Breed support patch on them suckers anywhere. And the ones I know, I wish you would.
And I've partied with them personally. I've never seen any of it ever. So interesting.
Amazing. Anyway, they call him a support club. At the poker game, Gogolak connected with Howard Hinkle, who has connections to the Rare Breed Club. Connections. What connections?
Mm-hmm.
On August 1st, Gogolak called 911 to report Quinn had died in his home. First responders arrived at the scene to find her dead of an overdose. Authorities believe she had been dead 24 to 36 hours before his 911 call. An indictment in September added 2 kidnapping and 6 witness tampering charges against Gogolak, 39, a previously convicted drug dealer who had already been indicted on narcotics and firearms charges after Quinn turned up dead in his home. Prosecutors said she was found to have 400 times a lethal dose of fentanyl in her system. Quinn, prosecutors say, was murdered, but her death was staged to look like an overdose. But the guy who was there that did it only has 2 kidnapping and 6 witness tampering charges. I don't see a murder charge here. Interesting. Indicted on firearms, narcotics, nothing about murder. But this is the guy's house she was found at. And this is the guy that made the phone call, the 911 call. But
wow.
But he's not charged with murder. But they say she was murdered and her death was staged to look like an overdose. And so you would imagine that the murder charges would be filed if they had them. Moscato said Ehrman has no criminal record and there was nothing illegal about the long guns found in his home. Now, you remember that they put all those pictures of all those guns up that they found.
I remember that. Yep. And they were.
You remember me saying, Black Dragon, you remember me saying, wow, those guns all look like hunting rifles.
They were.
The only tactical gun I see here is a shotgun.
Two or 3 shotguns, and the rest of them are like single bolt action
I think
rifles.
the one that I remember being tactical was a shotgun.
Yeah. And you're right. There was no AR. There was no AK-47. There was no any of that. And even if they did have that, those are still long rifles.
Those are still legal guns. But but the attorney says there was nothing illegal about the long guns they had in his arm, even though they laid them all out on this big old table like they do. And you're looking at it like, they found all those guns.
Well, see, this is what they do. I'm going to be honest. Not the big bag that I showed you, but what they'll do is they'll show a little bag like this, put that up with a whole bunch of weapons, and now it's a major ordeal. That's the truth. Some little bag like that is now the whole reason.
Mike, you got just like a whole stash over there.
I sure do.
That was illegal in my day. There was no way in hell. Oh my God, that's at a pound?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes, no problems.
And it looks like it's the furry kind and all that.
Oh yeah. There's no problems here.
Wow.
Hey, this was gifted to me for Christmas.
I guess you got good for. I've never even had one. I've never had a joint in my whole life.
You have not had a single joint?
Never.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's hilarious that if you ever tried
know what
it,
that's like, man.
you wouldn't be going, oh wow, like they
My
smoke
friend-
this and all of a sudden they want to shoot up places. No, that's not what happens. Ever.
No, it's a gateway drug, my friend. You're gonna be on cocaine tomorrow. Watch.
Okay, so
and I told you,
fun
Black
fact.
Dragon told you.
Okay, you told me I've been smoking weed for a long time and I have never put anything up my nose. The worst I've done is drink and smoke that. That's the worst I've ever done. God's honest truth.
So when I was in the Navy, they wouldn't even let me drink because I didn't drink. My friends wouldn't let me drink. When I decided one day I was going to drink,
that's good friends.
They're
that's
like,
good
"No,
friends, though.
You don't drink. No, sir. We're not even going to watch you pull off this flop." But anyway, and my friends are like that now. Like when my friends come over and stuff like that, and they look at me, "Hey, man, don't even look over here. You don't mess with that. You're not even going to start." So anyway, the indictment happened. Okay, so he's got kidnapping charges. He's got previously, but nothing for murder. Moscato said that there was no criminal record, nothing illegal about the long guns found in his home. So the international president of the Outlaws, who is being held without bail, has no criminal record and no illegal guns that were found in his home. As for any connection to crimes by the Outlaws or at Pharaoh's, if they had anything solid against Mr. Ehrman, they would have indicted him a long time ago, he told the judge at the December 27th hearing in Rochester. Quinn's death had nothing to do with Ehrman, Moscato said. Miss Quinn was a drug addict, and everybody knew that. He said that's sad. She got mixed up with drugs with her friend from high school, Mr. Gogolak, and I might add, whom you guys haven't even charged with murder. So the judge Wednesday ruled that the government had established her death occurred under suspicious circumstances and was likely the result of foul play. We don't have any evidence yet. We don't have anybody charged yet. I don't know. This is really kind of an interesting case because when a junkie dies of junkiness, it's never suspicious.
Never.
Maybe it should be, but it's never suspicious. But this one died of junkiness, and now it's suspicious. Suspicious enough to keep somebody who's not even implicated in jail on a gun charge. So the judge ruled Wednesday that it was suspicious circumstances, likely a foul play. And she said, while the foul play may have been undertaken by Golak and Hinkle, not Irwin, but Golak and Hinkle. Hinkle is the rare breed guy. Neither of those individuals had any apparent motive to harm Quinn. Wolford said in her decision, but Garas plainly did. And seems likely that bikers were involved. Why? Why is it likely that bikers were involved in the circumstances surrounding Quinn's death? Given Ehrman's role with the Outlaws, being the international president, his close connections with Garas, the timing of his jail visits to Garas, the evidence that he was scrupulously monitoring the proceedings against Garas, the rats left for Quinn once she started cooperating with the government. Remember, they left rats on somebody's car or somebody's house. Remember that? Some rats were left at her parents' house or something. The same animal whose skeleton hangs with a noose at the Outlaws clubhouse. So now, because you have a rat hanging with a noose in your clubhouse, wow, are they going to come in and look at all the pictures of your clubhouse and attach that to a case somewhere? Amazing. So the fact that you had the same animal, a rat skeleton hanging with a noose at the Outlaws clubhouse, the Outlaws' disdain for snitches. It's not just the Outlaws' disdain for snitches. The whole biker set has a disdain for snitches. Anyway, and Quinn's expressed fear of the Outlaws because she was afraid of them. It is not unreasonable to conclude the defendant had a role in Quinn's death. Boy, you are drawing a whole lot of conclusions.
A lot.
Without
it's
a whole
frustrating.
lot of
it's frustrating.
I could probably see Ehrman sitting there on the He probably wants to fly. He probably wanted to fly over that bench too, like your boy. You
Yeah.
know? That's one of those times where the judge is up there talking that noise. Yeah, well, let's draw 1 + 1 = 2 × 5 divided by the square root of 7. And he probably was like, I want to jump over this. And you have to be careful. Now that guy's done it, you're going to see people jumping over benches all over the place. Wolford said Ehrman, the international president, controls legions of members who are willing to engage in threats of violence over issues as insignificant as whether a member of a rival motorcycle gang is wearing clothing viewed as disrespectful by the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. And that, my friends, is why you don't patch police. This is where the patch policing shit has
backfired.
That's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will watch it go on, and then they will pull it out. Boom. We know you guys are petty. We know you guys are. You guys will engage in threats and violence over issues as insignificant as whether a member of a rival motorcycle gang is wearing clothing viewed as disrespectful by your club. That's why you guys got to stop. All you clubs got to stop all that patch policing and stuff. They turn it against you in normal trials. Because none of that had anything to, what they did to somebody that's wearing a rival patch or whatever ain't got a damn thing to do with
this
your case right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Except
just piling the book on.
Except in the judge's mind. In the judge's mind, these guys will fight over anything. They don't like snitches. They got a rat hanging up in their clubhouse by a noose. The skeleton of a rat hanging up in their clubhouse by a noose. Some people put rats on this girl's parents' car. They did it. We can easily draw that nexus. With a network as wide as Irwin's and as vast as the Outlaws, that includes convicted felons and a deep reach within the Bureau of Prisons and around the world, reflected by the financial donations received by Ehrman while hospitalized in 2020 with COVID. Are we really? Did somebody really go look at the guy's GoFundMe or something? And he got donations from around the world. So, damn, I can't even get sick with COVID and people send me money. I would like to think and I did get sick with COVID, but I would like to think if I was sick with COVID, enough people around the world in the biker community know me. When my house caught on fire in 2017,
yep,
people sent donations and things. People looked after me.
All over the world. Yep.
Yes.
Right. I remember that.
So
it's crazy that they're definitely going to dig out everything about your life, and because they have no other thing to do at that time.
Well,
you got to think they're literally hired to do that, to figure out every little thing about you. So if someone's getting paid to do exactly that, of course, if it were free time, people wouldn't care.
This is crazy. Reflected by the financial donations received by Ehrman while hospitalized in 2020 with COVID, about to die. His brother sent him some money. She said it is apparent that he would have resources available to assist with any flight that could not be adequately addressed through reasonable conditions, the judge said.
Are you serious right now?
Hey, if he needed to run away from us, he could use his GoFundMe to get money. Even
this is some serious crap. I mean,
the only job he has is as general manager of Pharaoh's. And so, I mean, how much resources would he have stacked away? Don't worry. He can call upon his vast network of acolytes.
But that goes for anyone with a network. What if you have an Instagram that has, thousands of followers? That's a network.
A vast one at that.
A vast one at that. I mean, internationally, around the world, anybody can be a supporter of you. That's crazy. How can you use that against somebody? It's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing.
She used all that to keep your boy Irwin locked up.
with no bail.
Despite another judge saying, that's bullshit. Let's go ahead and give him some. Now, these are the conditions. You got to be home every night at 7, blah, blah, blah. No, none of that. None of that.
Man, this is ridiculous.
Why?
Man.
Because you're the international president of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club.
Yep. Let's just be real and call it like it is. I mean, I'd have more respect for all of them if they just said, listen, we don't like their organization.
She did say it.
This is why we're doing it. This is why we're doing it.
Pretty much she did say it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but being straight up and not just going around about with things and going around the bush, just say, oh, we don't like them, their organization. We think they're crap. And here we're going to throw the book on them, because that's the truth. If it were anybody else, none of this would have happened. It wouldn't have gotten stacked up this high. I have buddies right now that are fighting gun charges, and guess what? They're out. They're fine. You know what I mean? Don't know what to say.
You better know when you're in a motorcycle club, especially an outlaw motorcycle club, especially a big one, a top 5. They got them eyeballs on you. They're looking at you with jaundiced eyes. They're yellow as a mofo. Bright yellow. I'm talking about Halloween yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And they are it's crazy.
Sad.
Mm-hmm. And
because if this were happening to anybody else, I mean, if it were happening to us or me or any, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. We wouldn't want this to happen to anybody. This is crap.
And you wonder why people are jumping over
benches and yeah, exactly. Yep. You're right. Petty charges, petty crap.
If he's involved in all of that she said that he was involved in, and I imagine anything could be true, but in this country, we're not supposed to be running by that.
No speculation. It has to be hard evidence.
The law should, and she says that at this time, she's not required to consider any of that. All she's required to consider is that there is a risk of that.
I don't know how that's even legal.
And you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Anybody has the risk of doing that. Anybody has the risk of, or whatever, the chances of hurting somebody else. Everybody has that chance. What is that saying? You know what I mean? This is crap.
It's terrifying because it can happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not have the millions of dollars it takes to protect yourself. The attorneys, the experts, the professionals, you don't have all of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, they have unlimited resources. I mean, that's why they have I forget what it is, a 98%,
98%
98 conviction rate. I mean, that they have unlimited resources. When you have unlimited money, they can go as hard as they want.
In the paint, bro.
Yep.
Unless you're O.J. Simpson and you can stick an all-star team up against their butts.
Right.
It only worked one time. He wasn't able to assemble that team when they finally put him in jail for 10 years. They weren't able. He only had enough funds to assemble them big bad bros one time.
But he's still out. You know what I mean? Yeah, he went in, blah blah blah, but he's still out.
Yeah, he's out for the original. Yeah, the dream team did its job. It did what it was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. But yeah. Did you hear that clapping, by the way?
A little bit, very faint.
Very faint.
Hey, and if you're gonna call us crazy, make sure you spell crazy right.
Somebody called us crazy?
Yeah, it's all right. It's with a Z.
No, depending on, they might be in Europe.
I don't think that's even how they spell it over there.
That could be y'all. You're all crassy. This is a guy in a club.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just picture.
You have a big target on your back. Literally, they have such a high conviction rate because people take plea deals.
Yep.
One RICO comes into the pit. Once RICO comes into the picture, you're looking at 20 years minimum. Wow.
It's sad. Yep. And he may be out of crayon straight up, right?
We won't be mean to our guests. We're glad to have them all. Ah, goodness. Well, that's what's going on with his case. So he's sitting in jail on ice, and almost maybe indefinitely. They're going to have to give him. You can't just. Well, I guess you can. Damn. Can you? It's be like you going to jail on a pot charge.
Totally.
And it's like totally legal over there.
Yep. It's like, dude, you can't do it. I can carry.
How much do you get to have?
I can have this in my car, no problem.
Are you kidding me?
I could be pulled over and they just go, "Do you have anything in here?" Yeah, I got a pound of weed, no problem.
I got a pound of weed.
Yeah, I got 2 packs. Let's say I got two full pounds, whatever. Okay, what are you gonna do?
Take your ass to jail if you're in Georgia.
Yeah, in Georgia. Yeah, over here they go, "Oh, we don't care about the weed. Do you have any like firearms or anything?" You know?
No, you can't. You can have all the pot you want, but we're going to put you in jail for a little firearm.
Correct.
Wow.
For protecting yourself with your Second Amendment right.
Man, oh man, oh man, man.
Some stuff is ass backwards. I'll tell you that.
California,
Darren.
That part of California is probably cool. They're trying to make that happen here.
It should happen. It should happen federally, to be honest. But hey, it is what it is.
Even if it was made legal, I don't know if I would actually ever get high.
No, I mean it's obviously not your thing. It's not your thing. It's okay.
I might take like one hit and then be gone.
Well, no, you would be. I promise you. I promise you. This stuff is not the dirt weed when you used to grow up, 15%, whatever. This is like anywhere from 30 to 50% THC in actual flower.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, but okay.
Yeah, you used to smoke. What your generation used to smoke on is anywhere from 7 to 15%. Now it's at 30 to 50.
Do you use the blunt paper or do you use the?
Nope, I use a bong or a piece because honestly, I love smoking blunts and all that, but I can't roll. It looks like a it looks like a snake ate a bowling ball. You know what I mean? I can't roll it right.
Everybody I know that does that. Here's the one thing that throws me off. I just
throwing it out there.
Here's the thing that throws me off. I can't smoke something after you licked all over it.
Yeah, you're sitting there the whole time. Yeah, I know.
You want some? Hell no, you licked all over it.
Right. It's true. Mm-hmm.
Everybody I know that they have a whole little routine and they've got all these increments. They look like chemists.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they get done, and then they take that sucker, and then everybody passes it around.
Totally. We're sharing it.
In the COVID era, like who does this? Who does this in the COVID era?
The entire time. Absolutely. Didn't get COVID once, by the way. Moded.
Here in Georgia, we can have several weapons, but the weed will put you away. California and others, a gun will put you away, but you can walk with the weed.
Yeah, it's completely backwards.
It's completely backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, here you can have nunchucks, you can have stilettos.
Any of that here, you're done, dude. That's a felony.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, we are, I think we've come to the end of our time here today.
Absolutely.
That to me, that's a depressing story. I mean, you would think if you went to jail for something, you get a speedy trial, you get your bail, you get your hearing. I mean, how much time could you get for that conviction? 60 days or something? Like, I don't know. He smoked pot at some point in his life and owns a gun. Damn.
Yep. That's what they do.
That's what they got you in jail for. They suspect you of murder. They suspect you of witness tampering. They suspect you of witness intimidation, coercion, conspiracy. They suspect you of maintaining a premise where girls are coerced with their addictions into selling their bodies. They suspect you of all that, but they put you in jail for smoking a little pot. And
look at
owning
this. Frogzilla says a roach got me 3-year sentence. Look, I know people in Texas that have been caught with a single joint and they went to prison for 5 years. Prison. What are you talking about? That's insane to me. Like, meanwhile, I can travel and smoke. No problem.
I don't know if you should travel over here.
No, not with that.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that.
Forget about it.
I've had friends come over from California and like they'll open up their suitcase and I'll be like, my God, you took that to the airport? Are you crazy?
Yep.
Anyway, listen, you guys have a good day out there. This is Friday, right? Friday.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you guys have a good the first Friday of the new year.
That's right.
Yeah. There we go. Have a good night. Have your second New Year's Eve party and have a lot of fun. My new book, oh my goodness, hold on a minute. Don't put that. Hold on a second. I think I made a commercial for my new book.
And also make sure, guys, if you're going to get the book, make sure you guys go, even though we show off Amazon because it's all listed nicely and we can read it. Also, go to blackdragonsgear.com. That's where he gets the majority of the sale rather than giving a cut to like Amazon, let's say. But I wanted to say that.
Where on earth is I must have published it somewhere. I had made myself a commercial for the new book. It was somewhere. Man, I should have had that queued up, my bro. How do you not have the commercial for your new book queued up? Like, that hurts. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Is this the commercial? For my new book? Oh my goodness, I don't even believe this. Commercial for my book. But it's the beginning of it.
It works.
It's the beginning of it. And anyway, my new book, Social Club's Bible, is out. Make sure to go to blackdragonsgear.com to get it. blackdragonsgear.com, and make sure you guys support it. It is the first book of its kind that talks about social clubs on the biker set and teaches you how to interact on the biker set and all of those things in social clubs. It is on YouTube, or rather on TikTok. No, it's on. It's on. What's it on? It's on.
It's on Amazon.
It's Amazon, and Kindle, and also you can get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Boy, that's the worst commercial I've ever done in my life. Whatever you do, don't judge me on that. Yeah. That's horrible, man. Horrible. Anyway, listen, we're going to be out of here having a great time. You guys enjoy your Friday. And listen, I'm going to be dropping a brand new song. Everybody I know is doing songs, so I'm going to be doing a song. Yeah. By Black Dragon. So listen for it. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for tuning in. And get skinny. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.